Q3123. Which is the correct traffic pattern departure procedure to use at a non-controlled airport? A. Depart in any direction consistent with safety after crossing the airport boundary. B. Make all turns to the left. C. Comply with any FAA traffic pattern established for the airport. The correct answer is C. When operating at a non-controlled airport, it is crucial for pilots to adhere to the traffic pattern procedures established by the FAA. These procedures are designed to standardize the flow of traffic and ensure the safe and efficient operation of aircraft in and around the airport. The FAA develops traffic pattern procedures for different airports based on various factors such as runway orientation, prevailing winds, and surrounding terrain. These procedures outline the specific direction of turns, altitude restrictions, and other key parameters that pilots should follow when entering, maneuvering within, and departing from the traffic pattern. By complying with the established traffic pattern procedures, pilots promote safety by maintaining consistent spacing and separation between aircraft. This enables pilots to anticipate the movements of other aircraft in the pattern, minimizing the risk of collisions and mid-air conflicts. Following the prescribed traffic pattern procedures also helps pilots maintain situational awareness. By adhering to a standard set of procedures, pilots can predict the actions and positions of other aircraft in the pattern. This allows for effective communication and helps pilots make informed decisions to avoid potential conflicts or hazards. Additionally, complying with FAA traffic pattern procedures contributes to overall operational efficiency at the airport. When all pilots follow the same set of procedures, it ensures smooth traffic flow and minimizes disruptions or delays. This is particularly important at non-controlled airports, where pilots rely on visual observations and radio communication to maintain separation and coordinate their movements. In summary, complying with any FAA traffic pattern established for the airport is the correct option because it promotes safety, situational awareness, and operational efficiency. It ensures standardized procedures for all pilots operating at the non-controlled airport, reducing the risk of accidents and facilitating smooth traffic flow. 3123-1. The recommended entry position to an airport traffic pattern is A. 450 to the base leg, just below traffic pattern altitude. B. To enter 450 at the midpoint of the downwind leg at traffic pattern altitude. C. To cross directly over the airport at traffic pattern altitude and join the downwind leg. The correct answer is B. The reasoning behind this answer is that when entering an airport traffic pattern, it is recommended to do so at a consistent and predictable point to ensure safety and proper sequencing with other aircraft. The midpoint of the downwind leg is the recommended entry position. By entering the traffic pattern at this specific point, pilots can maintain adequate spacing with other aircraft already in the pattern. It allows for better traffic flow and reduces the risk of conflicts or collisions. Entering at 450, meaning turning to a 45-degree angle at the midpoint of the downwind leg, helps pilots establish a proper angle of approach to the runway. This entry procedure also allows pilots to join the flow of traffic smoothly and align with the direction of turns specified in the traffic pattern. 3719. VFR approaches to land at night should be accomplished A. At a higher airspeed. B. With a steeper descent. C. The same as during daytime. The correct answer is C. When conducting visual flight rules, VFR, approaches to land at night, it is recommended to follow the same procedures as during the daytime. There is no specific requirement for a higher airspeed or steeper descent solely based on the time of day. The reasoning behind this answer is that VFR approaches to land are primarily based on visual references and pilot judgment, regardless of whether it is daytime or nighttime. Pilots should rely on visual cues such as runway lights, navigation aids, and surrounding terrain to safely navigate and execute the approach and landing. While it is true that some pilots may choose to fly at a slightly higher airspeed during night approaches to enhance control and maneuverability, it is not a universal requirement. The decision to adjust airspeed should be based on factors such as aircraft performance, wind conditions, and personal preference, rather than a specific rule for night VFR approaches. Similarly, there is no specific requirement for a steeper descent during nighttime approaches. The descent rate should be based on the pilot's judgment and the need to maintain a stabilized approach, taking into account factors such as aircraft performance, approach path, and environmental conditions. It is important to note that pilots should be familiar with the airport's lighting system and any specific procedures or considerations for night operations at a particular airport. Additionally, pilots should ensure they have adequate night flying skills and be aware of any potential challenges associated with reduced visibility and perception at night. In summary, VFR approaches to land at night should be accomplished the same way as during daytime. Pilots should rely on visual cues, maintain a stabilized approach, and exercise good judgment based on their familiarity with the airport, aircraft, and night flying conditions. 3122, which is appropriate for a helicopter approaching an airport for landing. A. Remain below the airplane traffic pattern altitude. B. Avoid the flow of fixed-wing traffic. C. Fly right-hand traffic. The correct answer is B. When a helicopter is approaching an airport for landing, it is essential to prioritize safety and maintain separation from fixed-wing traffic. Helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft have different flight characteristics, operating procedures, and landing requirements. Therefore, it is crucial for helicopters to avoid the flow of fixed-wing traffic to prevent potential conflicts and ensure safe operations. By avoiding the flow of fixed-wing traffic, helicopters can reduce the risk of mid-air collisions. Fixed-wing aircraft generally have faster speeds and larger wingspans, making them more difficult to maneuver and control at low altitudes. Staying clear of the flow of fixed-wing traffic helps minimize the chances of encountering wake turbulence generated by these larger aircraft, which can be hazardous for helicopters due to their sensitivity to turbulence. Additionally, by avoiding fixed-wing traffic, helicopters can maintain better situational awareness. Fixed-wing aircraft typically follow standard traffic patterns and procedures, such as left-hand traffic patterns. By avoiding the flow of fixed-wing traffic, helicopters can reduce the complexity of their own approach, minimize radio communications, and reduce the risk of confusion or conflicts with other aircraft. In summary, the reasoning behind choosing option B, avoid the flow of fixed-wing traffic, is that helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft have different flight characteristics and operating procedures. By avoiding fixed-wing traffic, helicopters can minimize the risk of mid-air collisions, reduce the effects of wake turbulence, and maintain better situational awareness during the approach to an airport for landing. 2060. When approaching to land at an airport in Class G airspace that does not have light signals or other visual markings, an airplane pilot must make A. A straight-in approach. B. All turns to the right. C. All turns to the left. The correct answer is C. When approaching to land at an airport in Class G airspace without light signals or other visual markings, an airplane pilot must make all turns to the left. This follows the standard convention and established traffic pattern procedures for non-towered airports or Class G airspace. Left-hand traffic patterns are widely followed to ensure consistency, predictability, and safety among pilots. By making all turns to the left, pilots enhance situational awareness, maintain better visibility of other aircraft, and reduce the risk of mid-air collisions.